Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's AdEspresso Office Hours. So what we do on the Office Hours calls is we react to the latest Facebook and Google Ads news. And today what we're going to be covering is the recent publication of Facebook's Christmas ad guide. So I know it's just July when we're recording this, but we're already looking ahead to the season there. And the reason for this is it's going to be a challenging holiday season. Consumers are going to have less money than normal, and retailers are going to need to get more sales than normal to make up for lost time during COVID-19. So joining me on this call is our head of marketplace at AdEspresso, Antonio Calero, who's joining us
Hi
from
guys.
Madrid. Yeah. And Francesco Calici, who's also part of our marketplace team, who's joining us from our Rome office.
Hi guys. Hi Paul.
And I'm Paul, and I do the training and education here at AdEspresso, and I'm joining from our London office. So first of all, what we need to think about is how we should be planning ahead. So like I said, it's early days, but Facebook already planning strategies on how to maximize holiday season sales. So I'm going to start with Antonio, if you've got any tips for what e-commerce retailers should be looking to do now to make it a really smooth holiday season as possible.
That's an excellent question, Paul. And many companies commit a mistake of thinking, well, it's still summer, it's July, August. I'll think about this when September ends, October, and then it's probably too late, because remember that it's not Christmas that happens. It's also Black Friday a few weeks before, and Thanksgiving, and you name it. There are a lot of events happening heading to Christmas. So the thing is that Christmas is the big event, but some months or some weeks before that, there's already this rush starting to happen. So I think July, August is the best moment to start thinking about that strategy. And that's the reason why Facebook is just sending those newsletters. It's not just because they are bored. There's some logic behind that. And I think if I need to sum it up with a key point is you always have competitors on Facebook. A common mistake is people thinking, oh, this product I sell is quite unique, or my industry is very local, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm fine. I'll think about it in December because you know what? I don't have many competitors. That's wrong. Maybe you don't have industry competitors because your product is very unique. But on Facebook, any company, any advertiser trying to reach the same user as you're trying to reach becomes a competitor. So therefore, your costs will increase and so on. This will happen every Christmas. Every year, we've seen an increase starting from probably mid-October, November. Things started to ramp up until probably end of December. That things calm down a little bit. But this year, you said that, Paul, because of the COVID-19 situation, things could be quite strange. I don't know, maybe costs will double up, or maybe things will be cheaper. No one knows what's going to happen. So I think the moment is perfect to start deciding, okay, if this happens, they will do this. If that happens, they will do that. And remember that there will be always some competition. There will be always some chaos, some mayhem on Facebook. And therefore, you need to be prepared for that.
Excellent. Yeah, I think it's really good that you can really got to be thinking I think last time they published their figures, there were 6 million advertisers on Facebook, and that was years ago. So there's probably a good 10 million advertisers there. Plus, there's also been, by some large brands, what's been dubbed the Facebook boycott, where they pulled their ad spend for July. So what's probably going to happen is they're probably just going to shift that into the holiday season. So there could be even more pressure there. So yeah, really important to think how about you can get one over your competitors there. So Francesco, you've been onboarding lots of new clients into our concierge service at the moment. And obviously you've been helping them prepare for the holiday season. So what kind of tips and strategies have you been giving them recently?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Paul. Yeah, I like this way to see this, meaning now people are spending less than, as usual, and they are kind of saving the big budgets for the high season. So high season means high competition. So we need to find out some ways to do better and to move into this jungle that will be happening in a couple of months. So basically, I think that play in advance is the most important thing. So play in advance, it means be sure that you are tracking well, that you are collecting well the data you are generating. Now that you are as a business, now that you are running conversions campaigns, it's a way for you to test products and offers that you will be pushing out during the high competition season. And then, for instance, prepare in advance all the custom audiences and everything you need to, to use in that time, because of course, the time of the year is a very short time. So you cannot waste your time. You need to be prepared and ready to go, as soon as the high season will start. So basically, for instance, now that you're running, if you're in e-commerce, you're running conversions campaigns, you are collecting data from the users that are buying your product. So you will be able to create custom audiences and lookalike audiences based on value, right? Which is something very relevant for a business, especially that time of the year. So I would say that another little tip is, for instance, to use in that time of the year, use different placements, so unusual placements. So because all the people, everyone will be in the same placements, and so you can, split test your campaigns using different type of placements in comparison with the ones you usually use. And one of the most important things that I like to say during this time of the year is that you need to be ready with a very good offer. So you need to test out right now products and offers, discounts, or content to, on top of the product you are selling. So basically, get ready to use the best offer you can to generate and maximize the number of conversions that time of the year.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Do all your testing now, because there's going to be too short a time. It's going to be too expensive to be doing the testing in the holiday season there. And definitely something Facebook were recommending in their guide is just check all your plumbing is in place. So is your product catalog working so that you can run dynamic product ad campaigns? Have you got your mailing list cleaned up? Are they synced to Facebook custom audiences using AdEspresso data sync? Have you done your A/B testing, which we covered on the AdEspresso webinar last month? All those kind of things are what you should be doing now. So once you've got everything in place, that you've done your testing, you've done your competitive analysis, and so on, and you've done your plumbing there, moving on to the holiday season itself, we obviously need to switch gears. This is where you're going to maximize sales there. So what kind of tips can we give people? Like, how should they make the most of the holiday season? And really, what is the holiday season as well? What was the kind of key events there? So Antonio, where do you kind of look to maximize your sales, and what strategies do you use during that key season?
I think the first point is to be aware that there's going to be a lot of noise in there. There's a lot of competition. Like we said before, anyone trying to reach the same user will be a competitor. And some of these ads could be boring. Many of these ads are very cliche. Hey, it's Christmas time, buy from me, get discount. And it's the same thing over and over and over. So as soon as we get to mid-October, November, I start to see Christmas trees and snowmen on my newsfeed. And I develop what is called ad blindness. I don't pay attention to ads anymore because it's the same thing over and over. So I think the first thing you need to do in your strategy is try to be unique, try to be different. Think that everyone will be trying to reach users with 10% discount, with a kind of a Christmas theme, with decorations, and try to be different. Remember, users are scrolling through their newsfeed, and usually their span of attention is 2 to 3 seconds. If you don't get their attention in 2 or 3 seconds, you miss them. Your ad will scroll up and never will show again. So in those 2 to 3 seconds, you could have something adventurous, something unique, something different that will at least make users stop saying, well, what is this about? Then in that moment, yes, you need to have a good offer, and you need to have a good landing page, and so on. But the very first thing you need to do is get users' attention. And in this time of the year, July, August, people are relaxed, enjoying the pool, enjoying the beach. I don't know. It's probably somehow easier to get that user's attention because there's not so much noise. But as we head toward the holiday season, the amount of noise and randomness that you can find on newsfeed is amazing. So you need to be prepared to get users' attention in the middle of that chaos. That's the first thing. And as I've mentioned before, second thing to remember is that Christmas does not start on December 1st, the Christmas season or holiday season. Before that, you have Thanksgiving and Black Friday and some other events, depending on the market. I think in some markets as well, it's Father's Day in September. So starts to get some movement there, and you need to be prepared. I think that would be a great moment to start, like Francesco said before. Now, July, August, you start testing things. But then, okay, we have a great event in September, October. Okay, let's try that thing that we have figured out in July or August. Let's try to test that in Thanksgiving, for instance, in Black Friday. Small events, but I mean, not really so small, but smaller than Christmas. I think as you get results, you will be much prepared for what happens in December, which is the biggest event of all.
Yeah, that's it. You got to just get all prepared for those holidays. And I mean, what we're seeing sometimes is that the Black Friday, Cyber Monday is getting bigger across the world. Like I'm in the UK. A few years ago, it just didn't exist, and now it's one of the main selling events.
10 years ago, we had no idea what was that in Spain, and now everyone goes crazy Black Friday.
So, and what's the situation like in Italy, Francesca? And what kind of key holidays do you promote for your clients across the world?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a very good point. I mean, now with the globalization, we have this common events right now. I mean, before it was like some specific events for a specific market that we still have, but the huge events, the very big events and the very big competition times are basically the same in all the markets right now, meaning Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas. So yeah, but I really like what Antonio mentioned about playing in advance and do some testing before. I mean, some test campaigns before launching the official ones for Christmas, for instance. The very good point is, because I think that time of the year, as all the the high competition times of the years, basically you have lots of offers, lots of companies, playing and putting in the table the best offer ever. So we need to think, out of the box and think about, okay, I need to create really a value offer, right? Because everyone will be pushing offers, discounts, and so on, but maybe playing different. So instead of offering a discount, which is quite common, you can add some exclusive content to the product you are selling, which is something different that can help, on a collateral way at the client who is buying your product. So I really like the approach to do some test campaigns before launching the official ones, and even before launching the official ones, be sure that the campaigns are approved. So this playing in advance game is because of that as well, meaning be sure that you won't have any delay in launching the ads. So be sure that you have all the assets approved and the campaign is ready to start. So try to play, let's say, 1 week in advance for each campaign you want to launch. So you are sure that you are, not wasting time in that specific moment of the year where time is really gold for advertisers.
Yeah, and I think it's doubly important as well to get the campaigns approved in advance, because approval times are a lot longer because Facebook's just overwhelmed with ads. And every single year, Ads Manager just breaks. It falls over a couple of days before the peak ad volume. So, it's caused real problems there that you're trying to book in ads and you just cannot get onto Ads Manager. So, why cause that stress when you can schedule the ads? I think about 6 months in advance. That'd be crazy. But work 48 hours ahead. The strategy that one of my clients is using that I spoke to them yesterday about is what we're trying to do at the moment is just kind of break even on the return on ad spend so that we can drive lots of traffic through to the website for retargeting. And then what we're going to do as a bit of a wild card this year is we're going to focus on Singles Day. Singles Day is 11/11, so 11th of November. And the reason for this is Black Friday. I think it's about 28th of November this year. And what happens is Black Friday's been getting earlier. It's been turning into the Monday and the weekend before, and it's getting closer, like earlier and earlier. So we're actually going to jump on that by saying, right, 11th of November, we're doing Singles Day, capture all the sales before people run out of money, push that heavily. And then, of course, we'll do the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then in December, it really switches from discounts to free expedited shipping. People just want to know they're physically going to get the product in time. So that's when we do these discount codes for shipping rather than for money off, and say, right, we're going to guarantee you're going to get this item before Christmas. So don't just use one strategy throughout the whole season. Just think about your different stages. What are people looking for at in different months there? So we're going to kind of round things out by switching gears a bit now and thinking about what happens if you're not an e-commerce retailer? If this isn't a big time of year for you, should you advertise as normal? Should you go along, ride the wave and crank up your ad spend? Should you put it back? What kind of tips have you got there for us, Antonio?
I think it's a mistake to say, look, this is not the best moment for me, so I will stop all my advertising. That's just my opinion. Anyone could have a different opinion. But I think advertising works because you need to be in people's mind, and if you need to be present all the time. The reason why advertising traditionally worked on television or radio is because they were bombarding us with the same ad. So you hear the Coca-Cola song 20 times, and then you are like humming that song along the street because they got in your brain. But you don't achieve that if you show your ad only once, especially if that ad is in the middle of 100 different ads. So it's true that perhaps you don't need to invest as much money and your goals should be different. But deciding just to remove everything, I think it's also a risky move because then people, January, will be attention to you. Will they remember who you are? You need to analyze this on a case-by-case basis. Of course, if you are a business to business and you are like something boring for social media, no, you are a law firm trying to get leads, perhaps it's not the best timing, or perhaps it is. Perhaps you could just turn around and try to make a funny ad. And of course, the purpose of that ad, you can never expect a law firm for people to click on the ad and book with you in that moment because people is distracted about buying for Christmas and so on. But if your ad is fun and interesting, maybe people start engaging with your ads and they remember you. And then when all the mayhem is over in January, they remember your brand and you have generated new leads. So that's what I'm trying to say. Even if your industry is boring, maybe it's a moment in which you could try to do things differently, and keeping them in people's mind. Again, perhaps it's not a good idea to put as much money as you would normally do in a different time of the year, but trying to just stop your advertising efforts and just think, okay, I will resume in January, February, March. I don't think it's a good strategy either. My opinion is that you need to be in people's mind as much as you can. Considering that there will be a lot of noise, a lot of competition, costs will be more expensive, therefore your strategy needs to be slightly different, but try to be there in some way.
Yeah, I think that's really important that, everything kind of kicks off for B2B in January can be a very good time of year. And if people have taken their eye off the ball in December, then they're just not going to be ready for when that wave hits them there in January. So yeah, really important to at least keep some brand awareness ads running there in December. So Francesco, what are you advising your clients? I know you work with quite a few enterprise clients. What are you advising them with their budget and ad strategy there?
Yeah, I think that everything starts with the fact that on December, people are setting up goals for next year. So it's a good time to generate leads. For instance, if you are a B2B business, of course, it is not time to push for the final goal, which is to sell your service, but is to get the intermediate goal, which is to generate leads for the people that are setting up the goals right now for next year. So I think that it is definitely that time of the year where you go for leads generation, and then to maximize the number of leads starting from January to maximize the number of conversions out of those leads. But yes, I completely agree with the lead gen that time of the year for a B2B service.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's keeping ad spend, reasonably low, but definitely generate those leads. The email leads you can use forever, so you can put a marketing campaign together in January, February. Your engagement audiences on Facebook last for up to a year. Website custom audiences for 180 days, lead audiences for 90 days. So plenty of opportunity there in Q4 to build up those audiences to give yourself the best start in Q1 there. Because again, a lot of businesses will be starting a year fresh and we're trying to make up from, if they've seen a decline in this year. So thank you both for joining me and some useful tips. So the kind of take-home messages for everybody, although it's July, it's holiday season, with vacations, and you probably want to go on the beach, just be thinking, planning ahead, getting your graphics together, getting your audiences there, your coupon codes, your offers, so that you have a really stress-free holiday season. So I'd like to wish everybody success there. If anybody's got questions, need any tips, then reach out to us. We've got AdEspresso.com. We've got loads of guides in our academy there. Also reach out to us, paul@AdEspresso.com, and I can pass on any messages to the rest of the team. So thank you for joining me, Antonio and Francesco.
Thank you,
Thank you, guys.
Paul. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.